worse are the persistent rumours that she's not a mum and never has been. Just when the difficult Duchess wanted all the talk of her fake baby bumps to fade away, along came a so-called friend to turbocharge the conspiracy theories.
Is Prince Harry actually Lilibet's father? I know that sounds like the most ridiculous question ever asked about the royal family, but what we discovered on her official birth certificate will completely blow your mind. The documented evidence raises such serious questions about Harry's legal relationship to his own daughter that it could destroy their family forever. This isn't speculation or conspiracy theories. This is what's literally written on government paperwork that anyone can verify. When we analyzed Lilibet's birth certificate, something immediately jumped out that made absolutely no sense. Every normal birth certificate lists the father's actual legal name to establish paternity and parental rights. But Harry's documentation tells a completely different story that's so bizarre, it raises genuine questions about whether he can legally prove he's her father at all.
Now the trolls have gone into overdrive with their firm belief that non-mother Meg was never pregnant, and the childless Sussexes continue to subject the world to an extraordinary hoax.
Here's what's actually written on the official document that's causing all this controversy. Harry is listed as the Duke of Sussex with His Royal Highness as his last name. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so what? That's his title. But here's the shocking truth that changes everything. In American law, royal titles are completely meaningless. They carry zero legal weight in any court system. What this means is absolutely devastating for Harry. According to this birth certificate, he cannot legally prove he's Lilibet's father using official documentation. American courts don't recognize Duke of Sussex as a real person. They need actual legal names like Henry, Charles, Albert, David to establish paternity, custody, rights, or inheritance claims. As far as U.S. law is concerned, Harry is legally a stranger to his own daughter. The implications of this documentation disaster are mind-blowing. If Meghan ever decides to divorce Harry, she could exclude him from Lilibet's life entirely, and he would have zero legal standing to fight back. He can't claim custody, make medical decisions, or even visit his daughter in a hospital emergency because this birth certificate doesn't prove any parental relationship under American law.
Buckle up, because what we're going to go into today is going to be a wild ride, and I'm going to leave it all up to you to decide what is what. Have we found the real father of Lily and Archie, or the real mother?
Meanwhile, Meghan protected herself perfectly. She listed her full legal name, Rachel Meghan Markle, exactly as required, giving her complete legal authority over Lilibet. So while Harry has no documented claim to his daughter, Meghan has ironclad parental rights. This creates a terrifying power imbalance that could destroy Harry's relationship with his child forever. But here's where this gets even more suspicious. This wasn't an accident. When you look at Archie's birth certificate, Meghan did the exact opposite strategy. She completely erased her own legal identity from his UK documentation, listing herself only as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Then she mysteriously had it corrected 11 days later when the legal problems became obvious. The pattern is absolutely calculated. Each parent now has proper legal standing with only one child. Meghan has full rights to Lilibet, but distanced herself from Archie. Harry has documented parentage for Archie, but zero legal claim to Lilibet.
What is going on? Because the documentation and the laws that I'm going to show you pertaining those two children, it raises even more questions than provide answers. And on top of that, it seems that the surrogate for Lily has been located in Colorado.
This looks disturbingly like preparation for future custody battles where each parent would fight for one child instead of both. What makes this documentation strategy even more suspicious is the timing and location elements that nobody wants to discuss. Lilibet was born in California, but persistent reports suggest Colorado played a crucial role in the process. This matters because Colorado has completely different laws when it comes to parental documentation and surrogacy arrangements. Unlike California, Colorado allows intended parents to be listed directly on birth certificates in ways that can completely bypass traditional paternity requirements. The medical timeline that Meghan provided makes the whole situation even more questionable. She publicly claimed to suffer from postpartum preeclampsia after Lilibet's birth, a potentially fatal condition that typically requires intensive hospital monitoring, extended bed rest, and strict medical supervision. Women with this condition are usually confined to hospitals for weeks and face serious long-term health complications. Yet, within just a few weeks of this supposedly life-threatening medical emergency, both Harry and Meghan were photographed at various public events looking perfectly healthy and energetic.
Okay. For those of you who are listening, that was the cartoon Meghan and Harry holding their placards, their protesting signs saying, "We want privacy, we want privacy," okay?
Harry was even spotted playing polo in Colorado. Hardly the behavior of someone whose wife had just narrowly survived a dangerous childbirth complication. The timeline doesn't match the severity of the medical claims they made publicly. Legal experts are calling this unprecedented in royal history. Never has a prince voluntarily eliminated his own parental rights through documentation choices. The fact that years have passed and nothing has been corrected suggests this arrangement might be intentional rather than accidental. Family law attorneys point out that this kind of systematic documentation separation typically only occurs in cases involving complex custody arrangements or reproductive technology that requires careful legal planning. The international legal complications make this even more complex. Harry is a British citizen with royal status, Lilibet is an American citizen, and Meghan holds dual citizenship. This creates a legal maze where different countries' laws could apply to custody, inheritance, and even royal succession rights. Harry's missing parental documentation in the US could affect not just his relationship with Lilibet, but also her future claims to British royal privileges. What's particularly disturbing is how this documentation disaster affects emergency situations.
Meghan's business model is just useless. It's useless.
If Lilibet were ever hospitalized or needed urgent medical care, Harry might not be legally recognized as her father, and therefore couldn't make critical medical decisions. Schools, doctors, and government agencies would all question his authority to act on her behalf because the birth certificate doesn't establish any legal relationship. The inheritance implications are equally staggering. Under US law, Harry couldn't automatically pass wealth, property, or titles to Lilibet because he's not legally documented as her father. Any inheritance claims would require additional legal proceedings to first establish paternity, something that should have been settled at birth. This creates vulnerabilities that could be exploited by anyone challenging Harry's financial legacy to his daughter. Royal succession experts are now questioning whether children with flawed paternity documentation can even maintain their positions in the official line of succession. The centuries-old laws governing the British throne depend on clear, verified bloodline documentation. When that paperwork contains fundamental errors or omissions, it creates constitutional questions that have never been tested in modern royal history. The palace's complete silence on this documentation crisis speaks volumes about how serious this situation has become. Royal communications teams typically address any questions about succession or legitimacy immediately, but they've remained mysteriously quiet about these birth certificate irregularities. This silence suggests they either don't have good answers or they're desperately trying to prevent this story from gaining more attention before they can figure out how to fix the legal mess quietly. The royal succession implications are staggering. How can Lilibet maintain her position as seventh in line to the British throne when her father's paternity isn't legally documented in the country where she was born and lives? The succession laws depend on verified bloodline documentation, and this birth certificate creates serious legitimacy questions. What makes this even more explosive is the cover-up mentality. Instead of simply correcting Harry's name on the certificate, they've left this legal disaster in place for years. A simple amendment listing his actual legal name would solve everything, but they seem determined to maintain this bizarre arrangement that strips Harry of his parental rights. The constitutional crisis this could trigger is unlike anything the monarchy has faced before. Previous royal scandals involved personal behavior or political conflicts.
Who is guiding this man from this vicious woman? Because she is vicious. You know, it's all about her. She'll do whatever she can to get what she wants. And Harry, you know, whatever.
This strikes at the documented bloodline that justifies the entire institution's existence. When the paperwork proving royal heritage is fundamentally flawed, everything becomes vulnerable. Royal watchers are now demanding a full investigation into both children's birth documentation. The evidence is hiding in plain sight on official government documents that raise serious questions about the Sussex family's legal arrangements. These aren't conspiracy theories, they're documented facts that could reshape the royal succession. The smoking gun truth is that Prince Harry may have accidentally or intentionally signed away his legal rights to his own daughter. Whether this was incompetence, manipulation, or strategic planning, the consequences could tear the Sussex family apart and create the biggest royal constitutional crisis in modern history. If this documentation nightmare ever becomes a legal battle, Harry could find himself fighting for a basic visitation rights to a daughter he can't legally prove is his. The birth certificate that should protect his parental relationship instead eliminates it entirely, leaving him vulnerable to losing Lilibet forever. The shocking answer to whether Prince Harry is actually Lilibet's father is this. Biologically, almost certainly yes. Legally, according to the official documentation, absolutely not. And that difference could destroy everything he thought he had secured for his family's future. So what do you think about this birth certificate bombshell? Is Harry really Lilibet's legal father, or has Meghan set up a system where she controls his access to his own daughter? Could this documentation disaster actually remove Lilibet from the royal succession? Or will the monarchy find a way to fix this legal nightmare before it explodes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this shocking investigation into royal paternity scandals blew your mind like it did mine, smash that subscribe button for more explosive royal revelations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.